now we got our two control lines. That's what we got laid out from front to back, left to right. And now, show you how to, this is the way you get where you can turn your tile on 45, where you can pop your lines so you have lines to run to. You just lay this tile, we want it coming from there, we want this back point to be on this line, and then going to this wall, we want this point on that line. So we lay it right there, and then from there we got to be able to get to where we can get some lines. So what we do is we stretch it out, and then we can get a mark both ways. And as you see, it's tight here because this wall is not exactly perfectly straight, so we went to the widest point, which will be on that end, and then down here we'll have to shave a little bit because you don't want it too far to where you got a big grout joint. But you have to work with what you have to work with. All houses are made with lumber and concrete, and it's all man-made, so nothing's perfect. So you just have to adjust. And here, I know I can't set a piece there because we've already established that that's going to be a cut back there. And it's getting better too on this wall, so it's almost full there too. So what we're going to do now is we'll get us a mark right here, and we'll get us a mark right here, and then we'll pop a line that way, and that's going to be our line. And then we'll just measure off here every 2 tiles and pop a line, or 1 tile, whichever way we decide. Sometimes if you use 12 by 12, you definitely go 2, that's only 2 foot. But the bigger the tile, sometimes, you know, 16 and 16, you got 32. Sometimes it's a little far to reach out if you have to pick it back up. But we'll start out with 2, and as we start setting the tile, if we have to keep picking up some because the concrete's not perfectly flat, you have to pick them up to adjust the corners. And the more you pick up, the tighter your back's going to be stretching out. So at one point, once we start, we might have to add some more lines in there. But always remember, your lines are to keep you straight, get you started straight. You need a good square line, and then after that you just have to adjust. And what I do is when I run tile, if I trust my lines, I got my line straight, when I pop that line, this tile's going to set on the line. And then we'll make another mark off of there, we'll get us a measurement, we pop that line, then this tile sits on the line, not this one. Every other tile sits on the line. So you make sure when you run, each tile sits on the line, and then in between, this row is the row you kind of adjust, and you keep each other line perfectly straight, and then you adjust, and you won't have any problems. If you start drifting off your line or going one way or the other, then you don't know if you're straight or you're not straight, because then you're so far gone out of whack, you don't know what to do. So that's the way I do it. I just, every other row, I run on a line, and then you don't have any problems. The joints might go in and out a little because you're changing, but you never go like this because you're on a line. And tile's not perfect, just like we talked about the house and the concrete. Same thing, these are man-made. If you put them together, you'll see they're close, but they're not always. That's the whole purpose of a grout joint, is so you got room for size and you have room for bending. That's why, like if you run marble, you run it on a mud bed because it's butted together and you have to run it flat. With tile, the whole purpose of a grout joint is to give you somewhere to flow and flexibility. So we're going to stop now and pop a couple more lines, and we'll be back in a minute.